Me, I am a big fan of the music. I like it. I come and support you sometimes, even without you knowing. But when you headline things,
Oktoberfest.
yeah. So yes, Oktoberfest, of course. After what? After the performance at the Nile with the Swangs. So I was telling the team at Oktoberfest that if we don't have Kohen, I don't know who we can have.
Man, it was a great experience for me as well. Because, man, I haven't been given the chance to do the kinds of performances I want to do. So Roast and Rhyme was one of the first where I was given 100% creative direction. They were like, do you want a full band? Do you want this? I was like, no. I have something that just might suit the occasion. So we did something semi-live with my boy Sonic, which is what we've been trying to do, around town, especially given that the red card is not respected as much. But we try to, show up as much as possible. Someone might they might want to have a full band, but when the red card is not reflecting. So in club, we've been doing it out of, trying to make ends meet. But being given the opportunity to execute it the way I wanted to execute it in Ginger was amazing. So, yeah, I'm really glad the people liked it as well.
Good. That's top. So, for those who do not know, Kohen is a performing artist. Should I say an R&B artist?
Yes, I am an artist. I wouldn't necessarily box myself
to something.
But I resonate so much with R&B because my voice is my main instrument. And I like to sing about things that are blue. So rhymes and blues, sad songs, it makes sense. That's why people sort of categorize me as an R&B artist. But me, no, I don't limit myself. I can do anything.
So with the art, are you just an artist that sings, or you?
No.
You produce?
I'm also a graphic designer.
Okay.
I run a company called Ninoy Digital with a cousin of mine, and we've been developing some products. Ninoy Play, that's where Ninoy Music is, which is my record label, the one I'm signed to. So just making things work out. I do most of my artwork, just in case you've been wondering. Like if you see all my artwork around there, just know I did it myself.
You did it yourself.
Yeah.
And the production?
The production, though, I leave that to people who might be a bit better than me. But I am definitely always involved in the process. Like I'm always there, literally, even when they're mixing and mastering. A process they should be doing alone, I'm always in the room trying to tell them, okay, do this, do that, do that. It's more of like shared responsibility. I never try to overshadow them because I know they are better than me at what they're doing. But I also like to leave a little bit of myself because music is very personal, at least to me. When I put out a song, I've literally put out a part of myself. So I need to control it as much as possible.
So for something like Oktoberfest, right, where, say, you headline, something like that, if I am just a normal guy on the street, a random, who sees, say, billboard, we're going to put up billboards for Oktoberfest, right, with you guys and them. So when I see Kohen Jaycee on a billboard, and I've listened to your music and I like it, but in terms of performance, right, and this is something I've seen a few artists struggle with. Like, they're really good, I'm like a big fan, but when you see the performance or when you see how they perform, you're like, okay, like I'd rather keep to Spotify and listen to you. Right? Okay. So when I see you on a billboard, how do you, like, what's the difference? First, like, I want you to help me understand the difference between you in the booth and you in a crowd of people where you're like a superstar and now you're singing to them. Is there like a difference in the music, the energy? How do you build to that? Like, what do I expect when they say Kohen is going to perform? What's the difference between your performance and me listening to you through my earphones?
Well, there is a difference, and there in itself there's none. Because they are the same songs I'm going to perform. The difference is you're seeing me perform it live. Now, for me, I usually don't want my performance to be any different from what you hear. Because even when I'm in studio, we try to make sure we limit the auto-tune as much as possible so that the voice comes out raw, just in case you happen to hear me live, you're not wondering what's happening. But just for the difference sake, I mean, in studio it's more personal. Like, it's just me and the producer. Usually it's just me by myself because I started recording myself. But like, it's something like I can wake up like at 3 a.m. in the morning and I'm just writing down lyrics and it makes sense and I decide to, go to the studio and then record it. So that's very personal. It's a bit different. I don't even think, like, the energy in itself is just the raw energy of creation. But now when you're performing, like, you have to emulate, like, you have to respond to the audience. Like, if the audience is liking the music, you have to give them an honest feedback, which is something that is, like, something I try to put in my music, honesty. So you're not going to hear a song like Tip, which we did with Bantu Vibes.
Yes.
Shout out to my crew. And then you expect me to perform it acoustic. No, like, that one has a certain energy that it demands, and I make sure that I am in that mental space and I deliver it. But then there's songs like Ndina or songs like Ndozere. Those are songs that need a connection. Like, people need to feel at one with you who's singing the song and also at one with the song itself. So, yeah, they are the same, but they're also different. Like,
so,
studio and on stage.
I get that. What do you really enjoy the performances? Or are you anxious about them? Like, you have to impress a gazillion people, and they're all there. Like, does the crowd energy feed into you and what you give them, or you're set out to just perform to the people and wow them and change them?
Well, if I'm being honest, before, it was more about what everyone thought about me, and not even just musically, but even personally.
Yeah.
But I later came to realize that sometimes it's like what everyone else thinks doesn't really matter. Like, if you happen to like something, and I'm talking about this in the sense of like a song. Let's say there's an artist who has a song and they're looking for validation. Like, you play it for so many people and you want at least 10 people to say, yes, your song is good before you can have the confidence to put it out. Now, I learned to not work from that place. I love everything I do and I know it's great. So by the time I put it out, I'm confident that people are going to love it. The challenge comes in making sure as many people hear it. Because for me right now, I feel like that's the step I've gotten into. It's no longer about the craft. I'm so confident in my art. It's about making sure as many people get to hear it. So
the distribution bit is where you're focusing.
I'm quite confident in my team, in my set of producers, in my instrumentalists. It has taken some time to build. It's not something that we started overnight.
Which guy internationally would you say you're singing like?
I don't think I'm singing like anyone.
True. But you have to fall like in a category, like, right? It could be the Beyonce kind of thing where you're the Adele, and that's like the direction. Like, that's the competition. If you're nominated for a Grammy, if you are nominated for a Grammy, who would you be?
I see.
In what category would you be in? Like, name 4 guys you think you'd be in the same category with for a nomination, for a nod.
Well, to answer that, I would just answer it in the sense of like archetypes. I look at people like you just mentioned, Beyonce. She's a leader by default.
Yeah.
You look at people like Kendrick Lamar, someone who just came into the game, but not necessarily came into the game, but for someone who's been here that long and that much achievement, it's very, very inspiring. And then if it's going for like music, I would like to be compared to the likes of Ed Sheeran, Burna Boy, because they make it look so easy. But I know it's not easy, because at the end of the day, for me, the music that I'm making, just like this, big conversations by ordinary people. I want to talk about real things. Things that affect you on a subconscious level, things that affect you on a social level, not just an experience you're going to experience when you're out and about. And this is no disrespect to my people who are making, club bangers, because we need that as well.
Yeah.
But
we survive off that, right?
There's very few people making the kind of music that I make. I understand. So and this is not even just for the young people, because music is not defined by age. Like there's no demographic for music. Like music can be consumed by everyone. So I was recently watching an interview by a prominent artist, Adele actually.
Yeah.
And they were asking her why she's not conforming to the TikTok type of music and whatnot, which is what's trending. And she's like, man, no disrespect to what everyone is doing out there, but who's making music for my people? Like who's making music for people who don't have TikTok? Who's making music for people who, you know, are not necessarily on Twitter every time?
I would think you're actually singing for us that are on the internet. Like,
well, yes,
yeah.
It is very, very
Do you
intentional.
think
It's very intentional that you, who is on the internet, the music appeals to you just as much. But I know deep down that, because I've met very many people, like there's weddings I perform at, and I meet very many people who I would not necessarily, who don't even have Instagram on their phone.
I hear you. No, when you talk,
They don't even know
yeah.
what Snapchat is.
Yeah.
But I try to make sure that the music, as much as it is speaking to you, who might be in my category of like experience and whatnot, it can also be experienced by someone who's a lot older or someone who has a lot more experience on life. So I'm very picky about the things I sing about. Yeah. So it would be really great to be compared to such great people.
The longevity of it, is it intentional that you're singing for antiquity?
Yeah. It's very, very much intentional. From my first song to the songs I'm about to put out. I like to take time with my music. You know, I feel like again, by the time I decide to put out a song and I'm like, okay, this is the release date, anything after the release date is really not entirely dependent on me. It's actually even more dependent on the people who are going to listen to the song. I know there's marketing and all that, but you might market the hell out of a song, but if it's not great or people are not feeling it, they're still not going to listen.
But also right now, great is, how can I say it? Subjective, right?
In what way?
Like, it's hard to tell if a song is great or it has been marketed just so perfectly well for me to know about it. Right?
Truthfully, you just know. Like, if a song is great, you just know.
Like, that's the thing, yeah? Let me give you an example.
There's a good song, and then there's a hit song.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know that they're different? You can have a good
Help
song,
me make sense of that.
that's not a hit song.
Then what's
can
the
have a
definition
hit
of
song.
good if it can't hit?
Good is subjective, like you said. It's not something that is outside of self.
Yeah.
Like, you can listen to a song, if you like it, you know that you like it. If you don't like it, you know that you don't like it. Whether it's marketed, whether it's put in front of you.
No, the thing with marketing, though, it grows on you, right? Like,
well,
you'd listen.
Then they're playing into something else. They're playing into, like, repetitiveness and all that, playing with the psyche. But there's this thing, what other people would call love at first sight. Like, there's when you hear a song and you're like, this is a good song. Like, you just know. You don't need to hear a song 7 times to know it's good. So, in my opinion, it's about the touch points.
Yeah.
Like, we are making great music. How are we going to make sure it reaches the people who need to hear it? If as an artist you understand that, then you start to communicate. And you're not just making music. Now you're communicating. Like, there's a point of origin for a message, and then there's a place where it's going. And you know exactly what to sing about. And I feel like that's the space I'm in right now. I'm making more meaningful music, just for myself in a sense, because self-discovery is one thing I take seriously. Yeah. And I write about experiences, personal, passive. It might be an interaction that we have with you, and it sparks something within me. But I would want to write about it in a very, very honest way. Not in a sense of, like, I want you to feel like, wow, what made him write this? Like, I can feel it. And it's not as easy as it sounds. because before, I can be honest, I used to write a lot of trash music. But it also comes, I think, with time and experience.
How do you weigh into your music and call it trash and not trash from what you release from? Because the fact that you go through the whole process, right? It cannot. At what point do you start to call your music trash for your own self?
If I'm lying, like if the music is not feeling honest, you see, you can be in the bathroom. Let me give you an example. You can be in the bathroom and you're singing, and then you do that very nice note, and you're like, wow, you feel it, like it's honest. Deep down, you know, I'm not an amazing singer, but this note, like
it's dope. I did it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the same thing with the song. Like you can, because me now, I hear melodies. I don't even know how other people do this, but for me, they're just all around me. I just pick out what I like, and then we're more like vessels, just to get into that. So for me, I can be there. I'm just shaking my head, like I'm hearing melodies and stuff, and I like it. I catch it, and I write it down. I put it on a song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Try to memorize it. If it's good, if it's honest, if it's real, it will stay. If it's not, I promise you, there are very many songs that I never completed, and I don't even know if I'll ever complete them. Maybe if I get to that point in life, that point of experience, I'll write about them. I'll complete them. But from now, my scope of experience...
So your process also involves the writing, right?
Yeah, I write all my music.
So I've heard the Jaycees and one of my fathers, Wayne, talk about the fact that they're gifted enough to just enter a booth and sing, right? Rap, sing, and add to it without writing. Do you think that's something? Do you think that's like exceptional? They're on like some alien type of vibe, or this is somewhere you think you'd also get where you are? Your wordsmith, like this is now you. It's what defines you. You enter a booth and you can tell a story for a minute or two, and it's all together. Like you have so many stories in your mind to tell and experiences, because you already have the experiences, right? It's what you're giving us now. But the fact that you can just compose them from start to finish to make a whole song in a go.
How I'm going to answer that is from the point of definition of what a song is. Mm-hmm. Because every day we are constructing sentences. We're telling stories. Every time you're, like right now we're having a conversation, you didn't script this, you didn't write it, but it's flowing. Yeah. It makes sense. I don't, like I can do that. Like I know my ability. Like I'm very good with the pen. I can come up with stuff in the moment. But like I said, I'm a perfectionist. Like, why would I rush it if I can do it better?
True. I see.
Like, I'll do that on the first session. I'll leave it there. And then I'll go and do what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'll listen to the song, correct it if I have to, and then go back and finish. That way, I'm doing the best of both worlds. I was able to tap into my inspiration, and I came up with something on the spot. But I was not delusional enough to think I am Lil Wayne or Jay-Z. Like, I like to take my time with things. So I go home, I usually ask for a demo. Go home, you know, just feel the song, sit in the song. Like when they say, like when you need an answer, they say sit in the question. It will find you, like the answer will find you. So that's what I do. I sit in the song, like I listen to it. Before you know it, I'm hearing the melodies that the song requires. Then I'll know how to put them. If there's a line that doesn't make sense, you know, that I just jumbled, I'll have the ability to correct it. So for me, no disrespect to everyone who says they freestyle or whatever. I just respect the power of writing, like the power of words. It's like you're speaking directly into someone's mind. Like even you, when you write something down, right. Your brain, the best function your brain has is not even to think. It's to forget. Your brain, the best thing it does is to forget. So I write everything down just so that I don't forget.
Good. Now, have you defined the kind of person you're singing music for now?
Not yet. I don't think I've done that yet. That's the process I'm in right now. I know who my music appeals to.
Yeah.
but I'm yet to find out who exactly I'm communicating to.
Is this because you feel like you've not had so much reach, that much to define?
Well, yes, there's that.
Yeah.
But I don't like blaming the outside world. Before I point a finger, I have to look inward. And that could have been one of the reasons. Like, I think about it so much. I think about it in the sense like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. And it just stops of being thoughts. Because remember, there's this thing that people like to say. There's you can have someone who's brilliant, very, very brilliant. And then you can have someone who's average. And not average in life, just average by whoever's definition, like whoever is putting them on a pedestal. And this person who's seemingly average will get so far. They'll do everything super well, not because they are better than this person, because I don't think there's, but they are dumb enough not to doubt themselves, not to overthink anything. Like, okay, I have to do this, let me just do it. Let's see what happens. I want to do this, let me just do it. So for me, and that's the beauty about working with a team, because before I was working all by myself. And I was the manager, I was the booking agent, I was the lyricist, I was
the graphics designer,
everything, you see. So there was also pressure on myself, not in a sense that I had not done something, but like not letting go did so well, you know, for an artist who just got out of campus, who's that's not so even, you know, like having a record label, like it did so well. And now I sat back, I was like overthinking everything. But then that same year is when I actually seriously started working with like Bantu Vibes officially. Because they were my Gs. We went to school together. Conrad, Dennis, Manley. Like we were literally in the same school, same class. Those are my Gs. But after we left high school, I went to National Theatre. We were doing Verse and Vac with Kagai Peter. Shout out to him. I credit a lot of my career to that gentleman. He gave me space, he gave me knowledge, he showed me how to channel my feelings. And that's also something I credit so much to the music I'm making today.
Yeah.
So
you really can feel it.
Yeah,
like,
I can feel it. He's
organized
he's a poet.
feeling. Yeah.
He's an amazing
There's so much
poet.
poetry in there. Yeah.
And for him, there's a poem he has called The Headline That Morning. It talks about the political climate, you know, as some people might see it. And I saw him recite it, and a couple of other poems as well, not just this one. I remember I also saw him recite a poem called The Spoiled Poet. Now, The Spoiled Poet is more witty, character, jolly, and then The Headline That Morning is very serious, like he's talking about real subject matter. But he could be two different people on the same stage.
Yeah.
It was so amazing to see.
Kind of like bipolar.
I don't even know what to call it, but he made it work. And for me, I was like, that's exactly how I want to be. Like, if I'm singing a sad song, I want to express myself so deeply that you feel sad.
True.
Well, because what's the essence of listening to music? It's to feel.
Let me tell you something. I was with a chick sometime in Mukono, so you were performing. And this is exactly what she was dealing with, like the anxiety. She's like pretty, but then she doesn't really understand it. So this song was playing, and I'm telling her, okay, listen to that. Just listen to that.
Oh, but Tewekeka is actually Joshua Bragg.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Shout out to him.
Okay. I thought that was your song.
My slow songs is a song called Ndinawe.
Hey, there's Ndinawe.
Yeah, there's Ndinawe, there's Your Number, the acoustic version.
Yes.
There's Mvawala, something I did with an amazing artist who inspires me, Maurice Kiria. So yeah, man, it's a roller coaster that's only going.
Now, in terms of diversity, the Nigerian conversation really doesn't skip the music when we're in Africa. But how do you think we can make the landscape for music around here more inclusive? And
I mean, it's as inclusive as it can get.
Is it? I feel like we have so much talent, but like to skip it, right? Like Nana to make 1 million was huge.
Yeah.
That we had to make noise around it. That means we have struggled so much. So I feel like there's that.
The
We are
question,
not. Yeah.
like what you're trying to talk about is maybe the gatekeepers, because the industry in itself is thriving. There's people who make 500 million, 700 million. They're there in this same industry.
They are. I agree.
And then there's some people who don't make anything. So it's more to do with the gatekeepers than with the industry, because rightfully so, we had people crossing borders. Radiant Weasel did it, Navagray did it, Keiko did it. The thing is, they would do it to an extent that now the home audience, and I don't know why it's always like this,
Yeah.
but the people at home would seldom appreciate it first. Like they would love it, they would, yeah, but then Ugandans, too many putijisa. Like we don't know how to shout about something, like make noise, like put it in everyone's faces. So all these people,
We're just not consistent enough. Like we can do it,
yeah,
and then just move on so quick, yeah.
Like exactly. And I don't even think that's a problem. Like I don't think it's with the people. It's just with like our environment. Like we have so much to consume. There's a lot of propaganda going on.
That's so true.
You are overly stimulated.
That's so true.
So again, that's why I'm trying to make music that people can feel. Because up here, like we're overworked.
Yeah.
Social media, there's new apps launching every day.
But speaking of the social media era, isn't it working in your favor as the new artists, as the new wave generation,
Well,
where you can just blow up in the control of like your phone? You don't like there's so many brokers in between there you can just keep because you have access.
Exactly.
Right?
That's where I was getting to when I told you about gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Like the only difference now is that as me as Kohen Jaycee, I can drop music without doing anything in Uganda. Like I can register my music with the Performance Rights Society in the UK. I distribute with a Nigerian distributor. We shoot the video in Kenya, you know. But at the end of the day, like that is not making the Ugandan industry any better.
Prosper, yeah. You're taking the money elsewhere.
Everything outside.
Yeah.
So the challenge is with the gatekeepers, and I don't want to mention names. I don't know them, but I know every industry always has them. It's just a matter of us figuring out.
What are they doing that's stepping on the industry in this case?
They're just unaware. Like it's not even their fault. They just don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's happening that, like I said, we're overly stimulated. Like for someone who's like 45 to plan for you, and they think they know your life so well, you someone who's 18, 19, 20, they're oblivious of your challenges, of your struggles. So like it's not even them.
True.
In my opinion, we just have to give more voice to the younger people who understand their age mates a lot.
And the experiences, and that is one thing I'm doing really.
For sure. Anyone who's doing that,
yeah,
I shout out to them, because we shouldn't even be fighting or conflicting. It's just give us audience, just give us space. Like I would love to be in the same spaces that Dr. Jose Chameleon or Mr. Bebe who goes. Because before I'm even exported to like Rwanda or wherever, I want to be appreciated here at home. Like why does it have to be so hard? This is a question for like whoever. Like why does it have to be so hard?
True. But what does it mean to you now? Like look, you're headlining Blankets and Wines, you're performing Blankets and Wines, you're headlining Roast and Rhyme, you have Oktoberfest coming. In a space, Chameleon would say that took him ages. That took him going on a bus corridor and going to Nairobi and fighting guys.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like it's easier with your generation to break through, and maybe you're not doing just as hard?
The thing is, it's so easy for someone to sit on the sideline and they say someone is not working hard, is not doing this or that. But like, what I always say is, do one song, get it played on radio.
Yeah.
Get 4 bookings in the same month, and then you come tell me if it's easy. Our challenge is all the shows that you've mentioned. There's an arm of the kinds of people we're talking about. Like they're young people.
That's so true. Okay.
You see, like those are people now who understand, but the
true.
percentage is so small.
It's
like,
so small. It's so small. For a fact, it's really so small that.
Truthfully, for an urban artist in Kampala, how many shows do you have to do?
1 million.
There are about 10.
Yeah.
And after that, that's it. So again, not to take away the blame from also the artists, because I feel like we need to know better as well. Like we need to demand better from whoever is in charge of anything, or from even ourselves. If at all you choose to dedicate your career to a team, you need to be sure what they're going to do for you. If they don't know, then work together, invest in knowledge. Make sure, okay, now I'm trying to find out how this can make me better. Because, again, back to the challenge of gatekeepers. Everyone thinks there's someone who's holding a magical golden key that they're just going to open the door and everything goes from there. But I'm telling you, it's very, very hard. It's not easy.
It's a vague process, right? You have to see it through,
bleak,
first of all. Yeah.
Very bleak. Like you have to eat faith, you have to sleep faith, you have to shower faith. Because music is a shout in the void. Music is not a tangible product. A couple of years ago it was, like you'd buy a cassette, but now it's streaming. Like it's intangible. Like we have to do a lot more to make just the same amount of money. Do you know that an artist has to get streamed 200 times to make $1 off Spotify?
Yes.
Do you think that's fair?
No.
So is that working easy?
No.
Yeah.
No. Clearly
so
not.
There's more avenues, yes, more touch points, but
the processes
are getting a bit more diluted. That's why you see now artists are venturing into things like merchandising, doing all this. Because we're trying to make the money make sense. You'll see someone getting all these bookings, but like I said, people don't respect red cards in Kampala. Like it's so... Anyway. Again, it's not their fault. I feel like now for me as an artist...
And it's like a system problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because even in jobs, it's the biggest problem, even in the tech industry, the best talent is exported. The best talent is exported because people feel like...
Why does it have to be like that? And again, the Nigerians, their industry is way, way, way too far. Like, they're way too advanced. Their structures are very, very organized. What I think we can do is learn. Instead of just always looking and emulating and be like, oh, I want to be like that. Import some people. Get some industry heads. Like, okay, if you can't, it's up to you as an artist. Reach out to people in Nigeria. Reach out to the people in the industry that you feel is doing a lot better than where you are. Because for me, I believe before you even blame, because this is all we have. Like, I'm Ugandan, born and raised. Like, this is all I have. I can only blame it for so long. But it's all I have because there's people who have made it. There's people who are making it work here. How are they doing it? It's just sad that it has to have a lot of expatriatism or a lot of importing based on it. Because we have amazing videographers in Uganda. We have amazing producers in Uganda. But then you will ask yourself, why are they not getting the same
attention? Yeah.
So, yeah, someone's lying. Someone needs to answer some questions. Because truthfully, everyone will be like, this artist deserves to be on top. This artist.
What solutions have you had in mind?
Solutions
for this kind of problem?
Yeah, come from personal.
If you had the power today, and like you're a god of this thing, and what you point at is what happens, what would you point at? Like, what would you do in this case?
I would want people to be more aware. Like, awareness is key. Knowledge. Like, know what it takes to be an artist. Like, don't just wake up and think if I record a song or if I be in studio or if I perform here and there, that's what makes me an artist. You're supposed to know what really makes you an artist. Then you can start being an artist. So, if you say, I want 1 million streams on YouTube, make yourself aware of how to get
the 1 million.
Yeah, because it's information, it's out there. It's on YouTube. I always tell my friends, YouTube University is literally free. there's an Indian guy who took time and recorded a video of
Explain everything.
that you wanted to do.
Yeah,
be it uploading music, how to write a split sheet, how to just people should try and make themselves more aware, because it will stop the blame thing, like, okay, this gatekeeper, that gatekeeper, like you will do, like you said, you will skip them because you are aware.
True.
So for me, my solution would be awareness. I would have to do like a crazy awareness drive, which is something I'm planning to do. I feel like someone has to do it eventually.
I feel like, that is something I also could jump on.
Shout out to you, man. Let's work together.
Like, def. For me, it's about the bonds. Now, much of your music is about love, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's also a thing. It's a thing with most of Ugandan music, circulated with a lot of love. Is it because we are in our feelings all the time? Why is that? Why is it? It's dope music. It's amazing.
I feel like there's two reasons why that happens. First reason is everyone is struggling. Everyone is going through something. So they just need something to make them feel alive. Something that's going to make them feel wanted. Because music is not tangible, it's a feeling. So I can't sell anger, I can't sell jealousy, I can't sell greed through music. So what best can I sell if not love and hope? That's one of the reasons. But also the other reason is it's so easy. It's so easy to sing about love because you've genuinely felt it. I can't sing about Maseratis I haven't driven.
I hear you.
But I can sing about a heartbreak that I've gone through, and I express it so well that the person who's listening will understand me.
So in terms of message, do you feel like how do I put this without it being very offensive to you guys, the creatives?
Please.
In terms of message, do you feel like we are overly underexposed? We don't have so much to sing about.
No.
Now, if I listen to 10 guys, top 10 songs in Uganda, apart from, Alien Skin's Genius, that he's just going to sing about any randomness and it's making it cool, right? And there's some uniqueness in that. He's thinking about the hard stuff, the stuff people don't want to attach themselves to. And it's like, no, I'm here and this is the real me. That's it. Apart from some bits of things like that, but all this other message is almost the same. If I'm not looking out for melodies, dope beats and dope production, and maybe a video being done properly well,
let me ask you something. Okay, before I answer that, let me just tell you something. What would you want people to sing about? Just give me 4 arguments.
See like Kendrick Lamar, right? See his poetry. It's diverse.
What's the subject matter? If it's not love and hope.
It's love and hope, but the diversity in the messages is extreme.
So maybe the question, your expression is in the way they put out the message. It's so monotonous. Because personally, I feel like as an artist or as a creative, as a painter, let's say I was gifted with the art of painting. Can you ever run out of what to paint?
No.
With all the things out here, can you ever run out of what to paint?
No, you'd rather paint
all the
leaves.
people that we experience every day, I don't think I can run out of stuff to write. But like I said, it's easier. Everyone wants to listen to a love song. The people who sang about politics and socio-economic change and whatnot, you see what happened to them.
Okay, there's also that, right? Yeah, there's also that. The political environment doesn't allow.
No one is trying to listen to a song where you're spilling hate. I mean, we did that back in the day, but the world is collectively going through
a lot of stuff.
People would rather listen to something uplifting. So yes, case in point, maybe what we can do is experiment more, especially with sounds, with expression, with how we articulate, those kinds of things. But saying that just because the top 10 is full of love songs, I feel like that in itself is a step in the right direction. It shows you that Ugandans are a certain type of people. As much as they struggle, they see the beauty in everything. When SARS was happening in Nigeria, like I said, like all their artists were on SARS. When Tinubu, like you see, but for us, it's this laid back kind of thing. And
yeah, we're very laid back. That's so true.
Exactly. That in itself is the problem, because now I've been working with a lot of people who are not necessarily Ugandan. I have a business partner who's from another East African country. I'm working. My brand manager is from Kenya. I'm also working with a couple of people from Nigeria, and everyone will tell you the same thing. Ugandans, we are slow as hell.
Yeah. And it's system, like from how we're raised, how we grow up, how at home things work.
That for me, that's now something I'm unlearning.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I thought I was working fast until I met these guys. So at the end of the day, that in itself is maybe what the Ugandans need as well. Just need exposure. Just expose yourself to what's happening outside there. People, interactions and whatnot. And then you just see how different and how big the world is. To a sense that for us, if we choose to sing about love, it's okay. Like it's very okay. The world is going through a lot of things. You see, Ugandans will not listen to a song about AIDS or something like that, but they'll listen to
but exactly. You see, that's the trend. When you look at back then, Poker Fellows storytelling was about that. The political landscape, love inclusively, right?
You also had diplomacy guys.
Yeah, like everything, but you see that diverse in whatever hope and whatnot. Yeah. He's really such.
He had a better way of painting his
Thank
picture.
you, and Fide Bongole Lutaya had the same thing. Yeah, he could sing about the AIDS.
Christmas album.
Exactly, he's still living up to now. Radio Mose, love purely, really. There's nothing else he sang about. He was.
He sang.
Apart from campaigning for the president.
That's a very...
He sang about love.
It's a very... I don't know what...
Did he sing about anything else? No.
Topic when it comes to Mose Radio. But
rest in peace, legend.
He sang... Man, radio sang,
but love.
He sang, exactly. Like it was so
expressed.
Easy for him. Because you see, when... And another thing I want you to realize is, you cannot sing about something if you don't have it. Like the only reason he was singing about all that love is because he had it to give. You see, when you have rage, you give rage. You slap people, you hit them. But when you have love, you give love. So if someone was able to sustain their entire career, I mean, outside there was always the controversy and what, but me, I felt like it was through his music that we saw the real him.
Yeah. So, but back to what I was saying. So the Poker Pharaohs, the Philo Bongolo Tires, it feels like they gave so much attention to their craft. Yeah? And you don't feel that now.
Okay.
Like, yeah, guy's going to release a good song. You like it. It's dope. But you feel like, okay, it's not about how you feel about his process, but about the product they have released, right? So when I listen to Cafelo's stuff, I'll be like, man, this guy thought. It's not about the length, but you feel like...
Subject matter.
Yeah, subject matter. That this guy, okay.
He
had, when he went to the studio, he wanted to really actually pass out some communication. Like, that's it. Yeah. Then you feel like, okay, this guy went to studio because he has to make money. He's trying to sound like Omale. He's trying to sound like who. Then your mind is filled with all that. You're like, okay, no. This guy I'm listening to. Okay, guys are saying is good, but I feel like, no, I've listened to all his lyrics from elsewhere. So, yeah, he didn't give it so much time. I think there is that in the industry now. Do you feel the same way?
I feel
at some bit. Have you felt like that?
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. But this is how I understand it in a sense. Right now, the industry is dominated by very many young people. Like, we have celebrities as young as 8. How old was Fresh Boy when?
Fresh Kid.
How old was he when
he very, very young. He was like 7, right? 6,
and
7.
That was a lot rare then. Like, for someone to... Like, we were listening
I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Artists.
Yeah.
You understand? They had an experience on life, which is a bit different now.
Now, okay.
Like, someone can blow up solely off their phone, and they do not have anything to do with artist development.
I mean, we have Champion Gundo right now.
They did not interact with a lawyer.
Yeah.
They did not do anything. Like, everything just happened. It phoned you. Like, everything happens so fast right now. But again, not to take away from like what you're trying to say. Like, there's need for more solid artists, which again goes back to my case in point. Like, people just need to make themselves aware.
Yeah.
You know, like, as an artist, you're supposed to be well branded. Do you have a logo? Do you have something that you stand for? Because if you don't have anything you stand for, then you definitely fall for anything.
What do you stand for?
I stand for love. I stand for mutual respect. I stand for peace. I'm a very peaceful human being. I feel like even my aura, like people can feel it. I'm not forcing it. So why am I trying to sing about things that I don't feel? When I'm 35,
you will.
When I have more experience on life, I will be able to write like the late Paul Cafe, I think.
Okay, so how do you rate the impact of social media to the music industry right now?
Number one.
Like, would you say, because there's the TikTok thing where you guys keep saying, maybe it's not a good thing. Like, these are just TikTok sounds and they can just empower anyone. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm going to hear from you. So, yeah, what's your impact? Like, how do you rate the impact of social media to music right now?
Like, social media is changing everything. Like, it's not even just changing music. Like, it's changing everything. If you're not online, you're missing out. So it's not even something we have to discuss. It's not a point of discussion. I strongly advocate for social media, just its right use, because a lot of people think, since it's free, I can just open up an account and then do this and that. Like, for me, how I use my social media, like, I tweet from a point of knowledge, like, okay, 5 years from now, if I read this, like, am I gonna like it? Will I be proud of it? So for me, I know what I'm using my social media for.
Okay.
Like, there's even like a joke we usually throw around, like, with my team. They're like, why don't you just plot a Giscando and just throw you out there and you blow? And I'm like, but that's not what I want to stand for. You understand? There's better ways we can do that. We can execute. I am confident, but at least not
that way.
Not that way. Not yet.
Yeah. You don't want to take a gamble on something.
Social media, very, very influential. People just have to use it the right way. You understand?
So with all these trending advancements in technology, artificial intelligence, we think, gets out of my head. Midjourney can produce your voice, right? Right now, I can produce a feature song of yours. So what Hollywood has done and what the record labels out there have done, they've told the people that are signed to them that they also own the AI versions of them, right? Yeah. Their contracts extend to the AI versions of them.
Image and rights.
Yeah.
Image, likeliness. It was bound to happen. Like me, I saw that before everyone else did. You can't say, this sounds like Drake, or this is AI Drake, and then you're not trying to pay Drake.
True.
Doesn't make sense. But again, use it the right way.
But okay, if I can produce a future song of you and then sell it to your target market, right? Say you've been performing at the patio, at the villa, at the maze. Those are places I work at, so they're just off my head. So you're performing in these places frequently, right? You have a night there. And I am the manager of that place. And I'm like, okay, this guy is charging me 8 million per performance. But then I can give his crowd this performance through someone else, right? My good friend Washington, I used to go uphill there. I used to work out from up the hill in Chisasi. So whenever we used to link up with Washington, he used to play me a lot of music, the producer. So
very dope guy.
Yeah, but most of the times what he used to tell me was like, I'm going to bring you guys another radio, right? And you play for me a song. Now I'm like, no, you're never going to do that. It's either you give us someone else, then we get to that, but then he would play for me music from people that would sound exactly like radio. Like, you'd feel it, right? So, the other person that has done something like that is Akon with the brother, where they have shared concerts and the brother goes to perform as him, because maybe they look alike. I don't know if they used to sing alike, but maybe the voices could come out alike.
This rapper, him and his twin bro, Pusha T, he has a twin brother.
Pusha has a twin brother. I didn't even know. What?
He has a twin bro. Like, they were doing music together back in the day, and now the brother is doing, I think, gospel music, and Pusha is still doing his thing. But they look exactly the same, just that this guy has dreadlocks. So trust me, they would. I'm not saying I know if they did, but
there's a possibility that that's possible.
Pull it off, and no one would even notice.
So, in a case where I could recreate your experience to your target market, do you think that's a good or bad thing? It's good for my business, though. Yeah.
I mean, it's also good for me if you're paying me my royalties. But what my argument is, like, you cannot recreate the experience. What you've done is the likeliness, which is what I'm charging you for. Image and likeliness. There can only be one Drake. Like, you can put out 20 albums and it will all still be AI Drake. Even if you don't tell people, I have a feeling that the genuine people would always know. Like, you would hear that AI song and you know it was an AI song. Like, you know what a Drake bar sounds like. You know what a Kohen Jaycee lyric sounds like. Unless those prompts, like they call them, are input by me, there's no way my human experience is going to be associated to that. And that's something. Is the selling point. That's why everyone, wants to work with Nassim. Or Axon or who. Like, they might not necessarily have the best equipment, because if you want that, you have to fly to South Africa or where. But there's something that Nassim adds that is not in his equipment. Like, it's in his person, like, it's his expression, it's his light. Like, if AI is going to replicate that, it's going to take a long time.
What do you feel about the production landscape now? Like, our beats?
There's kids who are doing crazy stuff. Like,
as compared to the international market right now, do you feel we can compete?
Yeah.
And it's just the marketing that's lacking.
Listen to my latest single called Let Me Be. And it was produced by one of my good friends called Alan Clive. He did the beat. Like, everyone who listens to that is like, wow. But I've been working with Alan Clive since 2016. It's the circle that I associated myself with. That is Bantu Vibes. Those are the people. Very, very exceptional, very unique, amazing, talented people. The challenge is not the product. If you recall from where we started from, like, I have reached a point where I'm so confident in the product. My challenge is the touch points. Like, how now am I going to get this amazing product, like this amazing music, and make sure it reaches exactly who it needs to reach. Like, I've not yet put a pin to that and say, okay, I want it to reach this kind of person. But that's why I'm still making general music. That's why I'm still making music about love. Because love is something that everyone can feel. Like, it's something that I don't have to say twice. Like, there's love for a sibling, there's love for a pet, there's love for food. It's all around me. That's so easy for me to sing about. I don't think I can sing about politics that I'm not part of. I don't think I can sing about...
Well, it's a part of you right now. There's actually a lot of politics in your industry. They're like
it's in my industry. It's not at my house.
Well, what do you feel about that, though? What's your opinion and perspective on?
I respect what they're trying to do.
The organizations. Are you even following up on what they're trying to do?
Diligently.
Okay.
I am very aware. I'm very much aware.
Yeah,
my ears are always on the ground. I even attended. I attended a couple of meetings. I was there. I wanted to speak, but it wasn't time yet. Guys were like, who's this guy? But yeah, like, I'm very, very into it. Like, I like what they're trying to do. Like, the headspace, it's all in the right place. Because truthfully, just think about a concert. A concert grosses about 1.2 billion.
Yeah.
URA is getting paid. The guys who came to sell chapatis are getting paid. The security guys are getting paid.
The ecosystem is happy, right?
except the artist.
What do you mean? When the promoter cashes, Gravity is cashed out first before anything else. Before even the artist is sorted. Maybe
Awareness.
when you say
Awareness. Do your research. You'll know why people are very bitter.
sure.
Caller
I can't even
tunes,
speak.
what?
Yeah, no, my friends, the Nellies,
Like
they have issues with the caller
like
tunes.
that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the whole thing. The artist who everyone has gone to see is actually taken care of last. And I'm not saying it happens everywhere.
Yeah, but
just
it's
something that
happening.
people
It's
need
something.
to be aware of. Like if you as an artist you're aware of it, then you know how to avoid it. You know how to ask for your value. You see, because the industry, like people are saying, the industry is faulty, is broken. It's what there's people who have been thriving, and they're not so many, but they're there and they're making it work. The thing is, if at all we had the right policies and we were implementing them the right way, then there would be no one complaining because everyone would get a fair share of what they're supposed to get. I mean, DJs are not supposed to be sidelined because they're heavily influential in what song is hitting and what song is not. So you as an artist, your career is directly linked to DJs. But if at all you're making a federation of musicians and you're
Not calling the
actively
DJs.
trying to involve those, then there's
I just read a tweet before you came on the podcast that was from Mackenzie. He said DJs play almost the most important role in the music ecosystem.
'cause, like,
But when you
right now,
think about it, he was actually really right?
yeah, people are so busy. You see, they have to hire a DJ on a radio station.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they would cue the music themselves. The DJ is there to taste make. Like, they're the ones who are listening to what's popping and then they put the people on. Otherwise...
But now, aren't we put on by our phones though? Like, what's the percentage of how many people go to the bar and how many people stay at home?
You'll be surprised.
Are they the same people?
The bar is not heavily populated. Like, it's just young people who like to go out. Young people who have disposable income. People who don't have responsibilities per se. But Ugandans also, we have a very, very outgoing culture. But still, the number of stay homes are crazy. Like, you'd be surprised people discover their music on TV, like not even in the club. So in Uganda, TV is still a very, very important touch point. It might be a different case in another space. Because remember, for us here, internet is still expensive.
It's very expensive, yeah.
So you can't rely on blowing up on the internet.
It's going to be crazy in Kenya because now there's Starlink. You just subscribe and you have...
There's Starlink in Rwanda as well.
Oh, that's dope.
Yo, Elon, man. Just
No, but for us it's 2024, right? And also it's not... it's a government issue. Government has to allow Elon too.
But of course.
Yeah. So we just have to...
I mean, he's offering free internet. There's someone who's being beaten.
So YouTube will be a thing, right?
Exactly.
Let's say...
Tanzania. Diamond Platnumz can drop like a song like now. Spotify, YouTube.
Crazy.
2 mil in a day. 4 mil in a day. And that's visual, like they're seeing. Like before, like even after they're seen on YouTube, it trickles down all the way down to this side. Because now, TikTok is doing what YouTube was doing like 3 years later. People are discovering music. You're big on TikTok, you end up being big everywhere else. But then, still, believe you me, if our internet was a lot cheaper, like our bundles were a lot more favorable to our minimum wage, I think it would be a step in the right direction. It wouldn't solve the problem entirely, but now, like, you'd be confident that, okay, if I put out a song, I know that my fans are not necessarily going out of their way just to listen to my song. Like, it should be easy, like, you know?
In terms of control, right? These apps, it's already hectic to get streams on Spotify. Do you feel like a centralized solution? So here's something I wanted to do with my brother at some point. Wanted to like create an app where I went to pitch it to my friend Hilary Bamulinde. Shout out to Hilary. It's always some guy I go to when I have ideas. So I went to pitch it to Hillary.
Great mind. I like reading his.
Yeah, it's a great man. He's a personal mentor to me. So I went to pitch him, and then he had given me money for some other things, so he didn't have the money for the music thing. But here's what I wanted to do. Wanted to create an app where you sign up as a creator. We're still going to do it with our studio, right? So we're shooting a lot of content, not just this podcast. We're giving people opportunities to like do podcasts. We want very many people to like do their content. Then we have like a center, like what NBS is doing with Afro Mobile, center of like control of the content, and then pay the creator from like pay-per-view, yeah, all that stuff. Like what? Whenever someone views your stuff, whenever someone views Big Conversations, I get money in my bank for hosting that episode, right? Because there's so much content I've created. So, but the distribution channel and where to put it and just to have control into it. Because right now, I found another TikTok account of this guy who gets clips from Big Conversations and reposts them. And he's crazy with his numbers. Like he just gets bits of them. And he's crazy and I don't have any clue. Now, the worst part about his channel, because he gets just content, the worst part is the other videos he has, and there are advertisers on. So I don't know the deals he makes with his people, but maybe they give him
basically just using your content.
Yeah, to make money. And right now I don't want to like fight him. I'm like, okay, I just spread. I want to find a way of making my money and have control. So to you, do you feel like you have like centralized control around your music, or I can just get it right now? If I go to mp3judge.cc, I'll get your music.
Yeah, because I send it there.
So for you, the gameplay is
touch points.
The music is the advert.
Yeah, the music is the advert. Like,
okay.
I'm very much aware that Spotify is not gonna make me a lot of money. But if people can hear my music on Spotify as well as elsewhere, then that's good. Like, I need as many touch points as possible. Like, I'm not trying to be big on just Spotify. I want to be big everywhere. I want to be big in business.
Okay, but look at how that has worked, right? We've had Cardi B play party after party. I mean, that's really big, right?
Yeah.
We've had Alicia Keys play which other song in some reel. But okay, I think it was also still party after party. So like when Cardi plays party after party and you have all this visibility, what happens after?
That shouldn't be a question that anyone should be asking you. Like, if at all, as a creative, like if at all me, let's say Musa Keys or Davido or someone like right now posted Let Me Be, and they're genuinely vibing to it, like it won't stop at just posting, like, oh, let me post that, or this person is listening to my video. No, you have to be active, you have to be aware enough, like, okay, this guy just listened to my song. How am I going to reach him? Do I have to fly to Nigeria? Do I have to, like, it takes a lot more than just, like, okay, I've seen the video, and then I'll scroll past it, and then I'll watch a puppy video.
Yeah.
And then after that, what are you going to do with that visibility? Because trends, by definition, trends are short. Like, you can't trend the whole year.
I feel like that's how we are. We get excited of cheap dopamine and move on.
It's not just us, it's everyone. But again, you as the person who's offering the product, you have to be aware that, okay, they are overly stimulated. Like, okay, they'll see this picture, but they're going to scroll and see another video. So do I overstimulate them as well? Just add to the noise? Or do I sit back and find
I don't know, I cannot see what Loeb has done with Nana.
And you're like, can I look for a more meaningful way to now push my music? It takes awareness. Like, trust me, you can do a trend once, like organically, but let them never lie to you that you can do an organic trend twice. Like, chances are
so true.
It's very hard.
So true. I mean,
mimic, but you can.
It's so true.
Yeah. So I mean, there's people who have done it. I'm very open-minded.
Unless you have like a planned strategy, right? With checking that everything and redoing it.
Already eliminates the spontaneity
of organic
on the scene. Like, you have to now plan for it. So it all goes back to us, the creative, like, okay, I don't have to wait for Cardi B to listen to my song. Like, I can look for all their emails and just spam, just send. Or I can look for all these radio stations and just keep sending them my music. Like, we need to start thinking outside the box, because genuinely that's what these other people are doing. When a Nigerian artist gets a very big song in Uganda, before they're even booked, they usually fly in. Come, do connect. Like,
that is exactly
people,
what happens.
You know?
I think post-lockdown, I noticed Nigerians were running their own concerts here. A guy comes in, does a media tour, makes sure the song becomes a hit, then advertises concert.
At the end of the year, he comes, he collects his money. Like, it's the business. Like, that's how it is. You drop an album, you promote it for 6 months, you go on world tour.
Okay.
It's just...
When are you dropping? What are you working on now? Let's talk to me.
Mo is working on a lot of stuff. Like, currently, we just opened up a pork space.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen the pork thing. Yeah.
Business. Amazing pork in Nalia there, so we deliver everywhere.
Okay.
We are based in Nalia, but we deliver everywhere, and it's 20%.
How much is a kilo?
A kilo is just 25,000 shillings.
Okay.
And it's amazing. It's the best thing you'll ever have. But other than that...
how fast does it get here?
45.
45. Can you make the order now so it gets here while I'm on the podcast?
I can send you a contact to call.
Okay.
Like, there's a whole team of people, and yeah, they can take care.
Martin, take the contact.
Yeah, I also do graphic design, you know.
You can just tell them to order 1 kilo fried.
It's called the Pork Pit Nadia, down right there.
How is the business though? The food business?
Just
the
like
pork, Ugandans love pork, man.
Ugandans like pork, Ugandans can eat pork. Like, it's so far so good. I'm not complaining, but like, it's still in its early stages, you know. Just a few weeks past conception, so I don't want to...
I'm excited to taste it at the Oktoberfest, because I was told you said
well,
that's something.
We're gonna have to store.
Yeah,
there's our special. It's called the pork gyros. It's actually a wrap, but made of pork, and we stuff it with like a bunch of vegetables. We can even put some fries for you, mayo, and all that stuff. It's something. You should have it. You should have it the next time you're ordering.
Yeah. They'll have it. I love it.
But also music-wise, because I feel like that's majorly what everyone is most interested in. I'm currently working on my debut album. You see, I've had 3 EPs. Like, some people don't know that. Some people call Wena an album. They're not albums, they're EPs. Winner Chapter 1 was my first EP. It had 8 songs. Then Winner Chapter 2 was my second EP.
How many songs?
Winner Chapter 2 had 6. Like, the shortlist was huge, but we cut it down to 6 songs.
Yeah.
And then, fast forward, me and Axon worked on Heartstrings, which is my 3rd EP. So I haven't yet done like album space, you know, I haven't been in album mode. But it's been a point for me to learn, you see, like to teach myself, because the level at which I want to do it, it demands a lot. It demands a lot, because now, remember, my first EP, it was a no-feature project. Like, it was intentional, like no features, just gonna do it solo. And we did it. It did great. Songs like Ndina, We're Not Letting Go are on there, Twalanzi. It did really amazing. And I started working with some people in Nigeria just off of that project. That's how I was able to put out my second EP, Winner Chapter 2. And yeah, also Siganya was a very big song on there. But it's also something I'd written a while back.
Yeah.
And we were thinking of doing the album a lot sooner. But we had just given guys this amazing body of work, Winner Chapter 1 and Winner Chapter 2, that I felt at the time we hadn't yet even given the push, because with all due respect, those projects don't even have music videos. Like we have only 2 music videos off there.
Mm.
And it's also something that at first was not intentional, but with time, because I feel like now we are a bit more able to input resource and whatnot. But right now the focus is on the bigger picture. Like the music is timeless, it's not gonna grow old.
What's
Like
the bigger picture?
The bigger picture is the album.
So, are you going to do the album with the videos? What's the return on investment on visual as compared to audio for you right now?
Visual is just, it's the best promotional tool. Like, you see, that's one thing people are not aware of. Like the things that are very out there are not the things that necessarily make you so much money. YouTube pays, but they don't pay as much as synchronizing or you know, licensing and all that stuff. Like it's a bit different. But now if you're not aware, then people are going to take advantage, because everyone is so fixated on, oh my God, I need to shoot a music video or whatnot. But there's people who are making top dollar without necessarily making music videos. There's even an argument I was seeing that instead of spending about $15,000 on a music video, you'd rather invest in a campaign that involves multiple short form video. That way it's more scalable. Like it costs like way less and it's even more scalable. And that's not to say that music videos are not important, because trust me, they really, really are. But for an artist who cannot, or who is not yet in the space, like you don't have disposable income to just shoot a music video every time you drop, it shouldn't be your priority. Music video is just a promotional tool.
Yeah, for a fact right now it's just a marketing tool.
So focus on the other things like marketing. Distribution, you know, airplay, like synchronizing. Are you submitting your songs? You know, do you have your copyrights registered? Like, is everything
playlisting and stuff?
Playlisting, you see. Now that's where all the money comes in. Do you have something that's running off you? Do you have some merchandise you're selling? Now me, I was like, okay, I'll bring all my fans and they'll eat at my pork place, and that's how I'll capitalize from that. And then we also have Ninoy Apparel. We're going to be making apparel very soon. So it's, for me, yeah. You're
looking at it
like right
broadly.
Now, like when I put you're going to have to cut that out.
Okay.
That's the name of the album. But,
okay.
Like once we put that out, like right now I'm in a much, much better space to do everything I wanted to do, other than, okay, we got a deal, now I want to rush and promote Siganye, what, like, no. Like there's something we've been working on, and we want to give it the best that we can. Because I believe my music is timeless. I can still come back and shoot a music video for Siganye even if it's 3 years from now.
I agree. How have you spotted the team though? Like from management, this is it your manager that is spotting the team? Like, okay, now we need like a good playlister, so you look out for like someone with that type of skill. You're already the graphic designer, so you come to the team with that type of skill.
I don't design everything. I just design my own stuff. Like we do a bunch of work for other people.
Like the graphic design thing is like an agency, right?
Yeah, it's a whole company.
But like now the artist management, skilling, cause it's big. Right? There's the whole just managing, a guy who can just follow up stuff, a guy who could like draw strategies, but all this like to put it together and have it sync in schedule for you to like be out there.
Yo, like I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't easy, because like I said, I started out by myself, not necessarily by myself, but I wasn't working with a team like I am working now. And it's because I knew exactly what I wanted. And me, like I'm not trying to look for like, who's better qualified on paper, who went to school here, who went to school there. Because at the end of the day, we have to have our cups out.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way I can describe it. Like for me, one of the things I look out for most in someone who's trying to work with me, who's gonna be on my team, is your ability to learn.
Okay.
Because we all don't know everything.
That's so true.
You know, so I look for someone who can teach me something in a very respectful way, but someone that I can also learn from without him having to teach me. Like, I see whatever they do, and if I do the same, they can hear it. And they, like, it just has to be mutual understanding. Like, twino banga tutegeragana kumu. Twina kubanga omanyi buli kimu. Kuba ebintu ebimu tubiga bwizi. Like, you just learn. You see, like, okay, we want to learn how to write a pitch deck. Just go to YouTube. But you have to have someone who's willing to want to learn
that. Yeah. And maybe they have like some kind of passion into the writing.
Exactly.
Or the, yeah.
So one of the things that I was looking out for most was that. Like, someone who's really, really willing. Because, you see, this vision is mine. This vision is mine. But being able to sell it to someone and they grasp it and they start living and breathing it.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So, trust me, it's not just even about your vision. Now, your vision is not just your vision. It's their vision as well. Like, they are directly
involved,
affecting, they're directly involved, and they're directly influencing, and they're influenced by it. So, for me to make such a decision, it didn't come so lightly. Like, it takes time. It takes time. Like, I'm very, very keen on the people I keep around me. But I'm very fortunate that, you know, life has blessed me with amazing people, you know, amazing friends, people who don't judge, people who are hardworking, people who are willing to apply themselves. So, trust me, as much as, you know, I delegate, I learn as well. It's more like give and take.
Have you made up your mind to do this for life?
Yeah. Otherwise, why am I doing
it? I'm very dynamic with personally, like, next year I could, I don't think I'm giving up on the podcast.
It's okay. It's okay to express yourself. It's okay to be what you want to be. You just have to know that, okay, this process, this phase is done. Now I'm going to the next one. Because if you keep switching characters without necessarily finishing your business, then...
Like my good friend Douglas. He was once an artist, became a video editor. Now he's doing some other stuff.
Maybe, like, he's discovering his passion. Maybe he wasn't meant to be an artist. Maybe he was meant to be... Because home is not where we're coming from. It's where we're going. I strongly believe you'll find where you're going, sir.
Good. I don't know what else I am leaving in this conversation, but yes. This has been broadly so much about music, and I love where your brain is. I feel like you are going to be successful. Like this.
Thank you so much.
There's no stop.
I haven't been doing this. Like, I would be honest, I was afraid of what, I would say what I'm capable of. It's not even arrogant. It's just from a point of self-awareness. That it scared me, whereby, let me give you an example, like, there's a family, and then there's the breadwinner who's the father, and then there's siblings, there's like me now, and then there's family. And then tragedy strikes, and let's say the father dies. And there is a set of shoes that have to be filled. But you as the person, like, let's say the firstborn child, you're so scared, you're like, no, I'm not yet ready, I don't think I want to do that. But the shoes are right there, they're looking at you. So it's more... I feel like it's something like that. I haven't been doing it a lot, but now I want to speak more. I want people to hear me more. I want people to understand that I'm not here for games. I'm not here to play. We're here to change the game. We're here to make money. We're here to touch lives. We're here to do something bigger than ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we are just vessels. The end will justify the means, in my opinion.
What legacy are you trying to leave behind?
I just want to inspire so many people, man. Legacy is a word I can spell. I want, when you think about Kohen, you think about great things that you cannot put into words. It's like the love for Michael Jackson, I would say. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be explained, right? Like, yeah, true.
Like, that's something I'm trying to envision.
Michael Jackson.
But one stage at a time, because I know my ability. There's an amazing song that we're dropping called Ability. It will probably explain everything I've been trying to say in this podcast a lot better. Because it talks about certainty. The first verse is like, I pray for you if you doubt my ability. Because I'm not bound by fear. You broke those chains, no captivity. I'm steady when I run my race. I'm heavy in my own lane. 2019, I decided to chase this dream. I saw the possibilities. I know. You see diversity. I know.
No, you're the artist I want to listen to. And I'm not just saying this because you're the podcast. That is the kind of poetry is what I was explaining when I was telling you the whole File Bongole Poker Pharaoh scenario, like what I feel. I can't feel that. I get it. Like the guy's doing it. There's this poet guy in Santana's Koi Koi. His poetry is exceptional. Play Owen. His music. When you listen to it,
bro, I was with Play one at Thingy.
It's crazy. He has
there's
it.
even Wake. There's a guy called Wake.
Yeah,
Wake
I know. Yeah.
There's very many guys who are trying to do their thing, trying to change the game. There's a homie of mine called Trigger. He has this whole way of expression, like he's always carrying the Ugandan flag, like he's so deep in his thing. Producers everywhere, Medra, Houdini, Axon, and what, like there's just so much talent.
How about skills?
Tapped into. How about skills actually mastered Twalands. That was the first time I ever worked with him. Imagine I worked with Albert Skills on my first project.
Oh.
So for me, it's a roller coaster that only goes up.
The emotion of fear. It's such a strong emotion. How have you... Yeah, because from your conversation, you show that you've overcome it. It's something you have despised, right? How have you done it?
Well, truth is, I had to go through it. Like, I didn't do away with it. Like, I had to go through it. Like, I had to face the things that scare me, and then I had to see myself at the end. I had to see myself a victor. There's a podcast I like to listen to. It's more like a sermon. It's called The Greatest Secret in the World by Al Nightingale.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about the power of thought. Like, what you think, as a man thinketh, so shall they be. Like, what you think is what you become. So if you live in a world that is controlled by fear, then fear will manifest itself. Everything that you live to fear just keeps manifesting itself. But if you live in the moment with all this confidence and faith, you know, as you think, so shall you reap. Like, it's about planting a certain seed in your mind. Like, this is the most fertile land that, it's not even land, it's right here. But what seeds are planted, it's what really makes or breaks a man. They'll tell you they'll distribute all the money in the world equally amongst everyone, and in about a year it will go back exactly where it is. So it's not necessarily about the money, it's about how the people think. So, again, very much aware. I listen to very many people, I read very many people, but I also experience people. Like, after this, I would like to sit down with someone and then we talk. Like, we talk about life genuinely. I don't want to read about someone's life on social media because there's a lot that they can leave out. It's about trying to stay present, like right here. Not in the future, not in the past, but right here. Because this is all you can control. I can't control things that were past. Like, I can't even taste the food I ate yesterday. Unless I buy it again.
True. And you probably won't taste the same, right?
They won't taste the same. So, just being aware of what you can control can set you free in so many ways, my dear.
That's rough. I feel like everyone needs to be in that mind space
But
with their life.
It's not easy, man.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Def, and things that life is in its entirety is hard, right?
No.
It's hard. Life is hard.
Life is hard.
Life
it's
is
not
hard.
meant to be hard.
I don't think so, because you see, life is defined by your power to overcome suffering. Yeah.
Yeah, altitude. Your altitude is determined by your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
We've been hearing that stuff from when we were. It's true.
It's true.
It's the truest thing you'll ever hear. So if at all in your everyday life you're like, wow, I'm a failure, I'm not good, I can't make it, I can't be better, believe me, it's going to manifest exactly the way you thought about it. But again, it's not something you can do in one day. It's not something you can do, but you can train yourself to see the positive in literally everything. A lot of people pose this question to me. They're like, Kohen, you're supposed to be bigger. You're supposed to be places and what. But I'm like, I'm very far from where I was. Like, and for me, I'm still very, very grateful for the journey in itself, because I know it's not ending. Like, I'm enjoying it either way. Whether it's slow according to someone who's outside of self and how they see it, but for me, I'm exactly where I need to be.
Mm.
So when you start thinking about, I know it's a bit superstitious. A lot of people are gonna be like, what the hell is he saying? But for me, that's how I've managed to divide, like, or to get comfort. Like, I'm uncertain about other things, like about the weather, but not about my fate.
Yeah.
Like, I know exactly where I want to be, and I'm going there.
That's pretty dope and amazing, man.
Again, big conversations by ordinary people.
Really deep.
Talk about the big things.
Yeah. You've definitely talked about the big things. You've exhausted them in the music. The business, about your social life, are you like, how are you handling the women, right? Because you're singing for them, and they come right at you. Like, are we going to like wake up to a Me Too about you, and it's power, right?
No.
It's a game about power. It's no one gives a fuck about how disciplined you are as a person. Right now, when you're in the limelight, the game changes.
Again, I'm very much aware of that. That's why, like,
awareness is really a thing.
Have you ever? This is one of the first conversations where I'm speaking like this. I didn't just learn to speak like this.
Oh, this is what I make people do.
Trying, like, now, like, I'm getting out of my cocoon. Like, I want to say things that matter.
Yeah.
Even the music. Like, before, it was more about getting confident. Okay, I'm trying to get fans. I'm trying to. But then I realized that, okay, now that I have it, then what?
No, but my question, by the way, is very, very interesting, and I'll re-ask it. So, you are singing. I love your music, but of course I know that I would love it better if I'm listening to it with my girlfriend, right? So,
that in itself is why I make music.
Exactly. So now, if you are making even my girlfriend have a good day, it means you have this whole pool to yourself, right? Yeah. I was gonna make a stupid joke, like you're like Kelly in a high school dormitory for in this case. So what happens to you?
Not Kelly.
Okay, no, not him. But that's the thing, like, how are you handling? And I ask also pastors this, because people want to wash away this question, but it's actually really solid. What is happening to the DMs? Are you just ignoring them?
They're crazy. I'm not gonna lie, they're very crazy. But how can I say this without necessarily? Yeah, it's still comes from a point of awareness.
Yeah.
It's like, what does she want? What do I want? Like, there's me before I do anything. Like, that's why I don't even think they're ever gonna catch me sleeping. Like, you won't wake up and see, like, Twitter trend. Like, no. The thing is, I respect myself first before I even respect, like, anyone else.
Yeah.
So if someone comes to me and they're touchy, they wanna hug, like, I'll be like, okay, does that make me comfortable? Like, if it doesn't, then I don't care what you feel.
And I'm asking this because the times I've been with you in a place, I've seen how you like to make yourself reserved, right?
Yeah. Like, and this is not even in a bad sense or anything, but sometimes my social battery can run out, you see. And when I'm on, like, when I'm supposed to be, like, out, like, I'm really out there, I'm hugging people, I'm taking pictures and stuff, but then I also want to be able to control my space. Like, if I say, okay, now I've gone to Thrones, or I've gone to, like, a night out, like, I want to have the liberty to be by myself. Not even by myself, but by the company that I choose. So, in a sense, like, even when you see me out there, you'll see I'm always wearing capes and hats and everything. And people were telling me that affects your image. People need to see you more. People need to what? But then it goes back to what we talked about earlier. There's a give and take. If I give people that much access to me, then they're definitely going to take. So how much do I want them to take? Now, before, I was overthinking about it, but now I know exactly what I have to give. That is why it's like when we're out there. If someone... Me, I'm not myself.
Mm-hmm.
Except maybe when I'm on stage.
What does that mean?
Honest. When you go out to thrones, are you being yourself?
Me, no, I don't even like alcohol, so those guys are just always forcing
shots. Alcohol. I mean, you put on an outfit.
Yeah.
I
get it in that perspective.
Like you're playing a persona.
You're in an act, right?
Yeah, and there's no one who knows that better than me, the artist. So I like a certain point where that is not happening. Like, we have to drop the act sometimes. Like, all our masks have to go off, and then we be people. So for me, that is one of the things that I've tried to hold on to for so long. But I feel like it's time. Eventually, like, there are some things you have to sacrifice in order for the bigger picture. And I think my challenge now, or the test that life is putting in my way, is going to be how to deal with like lots of people.
Are you like a family guy, or you like... Are you looking out to like have complete family, or you just looking out to...
I mean, yes. For the kind of person I want to be, to the people that I inspire, I want to be someone that you can look up to in every aspect of life. But I'm not even doing it for
the people.
For the people, like I'm doing it for myself. Like I'm genuinely here to experience this amazing thing.
Do you feel like you have achieved purpose?
Yeah.
You can define
exactly what I want to do.
Okay.
Like I know it to the core. That's why I'm so confident in it. So, yeah.
That's it for me. Thank you for the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, my guy. I've been watching them. I've always been wanting to be on one.
Yeah.
But I knew maybe it wasn't yet time to say some things.
True, but anytime I'm going to have you back a lot. I am sure we are going to talk after this and see what we can work on.
Most definitely.
But really, yeah. We are into the business of, let me just tell you about this. Just because I know some people will watch it. So we're into the business. The podcast is produced by a studio, right? So the studio is into the business of making music videos. We're investing a lot. So we do not have so much skill on like the quality of the videos we're putting out, but we're investing in that, right? We're developing talent, first of all, like from scratch, but then we're looking also to like spot extreme talent. So one of my KPIs for this month and the next month, we're looking at like adding in talent that is actually really good. So the conversations we're having around where we're getting our money from is how then do we become sustainable enough to like really produce content, because we want to invest in a lot of content in the country. We want to define the picture on YouTube at some point, right? What people say about the Ugandan picture, it's something we are like kind of like creating. That's like one of the goals, like the vision. So we are investing a lot in equipment. This is like 1% of what we have. This is just for podcast. Yeah.
So these guys can't see.
They can't see. So we are investing heavily in equipment for both hire and for creatives like you. If you have concepts, we want to partner and do as much. We believe we don't have the ideas, but the few things we can put together, we are very dedicated.
The spirit of collaboration.
Exactly. We're also very dedicated people, right? So we're in that. All partnerships are really welcome.
Quite interesting. We have a platform called Ninoy Play. We do playlists, distribution for artists, consultancy. So if you're a new artist and you want some questions answered, do that. We also do ground distribution, and eventually we're gonna get into this. Like, doing maybe something audio visual.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if the podcast though, we can start. That we can start.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, we can just start and
be a lot more.
Yeah.
On your screens.
That's something I wanted to do.
at the end of the day, for me, I'm not trying to limit myself. You see, as much as I say my name is Kohen Jaycee, I'm here to give you some special fever. Like, I don't limit my existence. Like, I'm not trying to deny myself the pleasures of existence. Like, we are here to have fun. So, we should do it.
Yeah, man. Thank you, really. That's it for the podcast. This will be out sometime next week.
Okay, just